And I think so. Part of the thing is that this group of people, was able to, work together. And to a certain extent, I think we do actually share certain methodological and conceptual frameworks that, until fairly recently, really we not articulated. In a certain sense, the most recent version of it's typically the case that you do the too busy doing the substantive work and never actually sit back and think about what is it that you have been doing and how did you go about doing these things. And I think that Guangxin's book, particularly the chapter on the book is titled Asia's Method, and the chapter on Asia's Method, in some ways lay out a certain kind of methodological procedures or framework that we've been working with without sort of explicitly articulating it. And one of them, and from the very start, there has always been an emphasis on a very intense investigation of the local. And so the interesting thing is most of the people who involved from the start were not just academics, but also involved in local civil society activities. They're sort of, in a way, organic intellectuals, properly speaking. And so all our work basically investigate the local, but always with the aim of being able to insert the work into the global archive, into the global library, into creating Asia as a point of reference for people working elsewhere, and in turn, and within Asia, as Guangxi would say, multiply the points of reference. And it actually, once you start to do it, once it became clear that of what to, methodologically, you begin to realize, I particularly begin to realize how fruitful it is to make that a conscious sort of framework to work with, especially when you're working in Asia regions in which the sharing of languages is common. Like between, say, Japanese, Chinese, and Korean, there are a lot of common idioms and common lexicons that allows, that actually makes resonance of each other's work fairly easy. And so, at the effective level, rather than hard comparative level, it allows for a lot of exchange. So I think that until now, particularly now, we now, I think, would say that we have also as kind of within the field of Indo-Asian cultural studies, some kind of made methodological progress. So in that sense, the most sort of, to me, the sort of gratifying idea is of Indo-Asia, which is a perverse rendering of, if you look at Guangxin's initial writing on this term, it's very interesting. It's actually a perverse rendering of Indo-Americas. Because he actually took the term with the Indo-American studies between Latin America and North America, and then he sort of rewrote it and put it as Indo-Asia. Of course, and the neologism is very interesting, but of course, it's a term that is contradictory, but the interesting thing is by now conventional to say Indo-Asia. Nobody actually think that's wrong, except Pasanjit Duara, who caught himself and said, I really ought to be talking about intra-Asia. Of course, then he was properly corrected. So I think, for those of you who are not very familiar with our work, I think that's a kind of brief summary of it. The journal is running quite well. Unfortunately, we're not making money for ourselves, but making a lot of money for Routledge because the subscription production rate doesn't come to us, but go directly to rubbish. And but apart from that, I think we have really done quite well, and I think that so that the